Alright, welcome to the first tutorial on Osborne Network. Today we're going to be showing you how to make a classic Minecraft server. It's just going to be a simple local host. Your friends won't be able to join it. I'll show you that in the next video, coming up soon. But this is how you make your first plugins Minecraft server, where you can download plugins from Bucket, and you can throw them into your server, and you can have essentials and permissions, and you can start your way up on making a big server. Alright, so first off, you're going to want to go to getbucket.org. I'll put a link in the description, but you're going to want to download the version of Minecraft that you want to play. This is going to be the version of Minecraft that you log into whenever you're logging into your Minecraft account. And this is the latest one, 1.14.4. Let's give it a try. So once you click that, you're going to want to go down and click on Spigot. Click this, click save. And now you're going to want to throw it onto your desktop. Once you get it on your desktop, you're going to want to rename it. And for my sake, I'm just going to rename it test. Then you're going to want to make a folder. And you can name this folder whatever you want. I'm just going to name it test. And from there, you're going to want to drag TechItJar and this runbat that I'm going to link in the description for you guys to download, because this is what Osborne Network uses. This is what all of the servers run off of, and how I will show you in future videos how to set them up to where this works properly. Once you drag both of them in there, you're going to want to edit your runbat, which I need a copy of this. So I'm just going to copy it. Okay. Now you can minimize that. And then you can run into here, and you're going to want to edit your runbat, because I have it set up to where it's different than most things. It looks like this. All of these little brackets aren't going to help you. If you just run this, it's going to give you an error. So this is what you're going to be calling your server. So like Skyblocks, or like factions, or like, this is your server's basically like low-key name. So if you have multiple, you don't get confused with the CMD32 that you would normally get if you just launch a regular command prompt. And I'm just going to name it test. Okay, so let's get into the arguments through Java. XMX is your maximum your maximum amount of RAM. This is the maximum amount of RAM that your server can use. So it can't go past this threshold. It can go below it if you set like 1 gig to XMS. But this is going to be the maximum amount of RAM that your server can use. And you can either use megabytes or gigabytes. And I'm going to use 2 gigabytes. And megabytes would look like this. Lowercase m, capital G. And your starting amount, this is how much, like, your foot through the door. This is how much your computer starts with, or your server starts with. This is, it can go anywhere from, it cannot be higher than XMX. If it's higher than XMX, it will not launch. It has to be smaller, because this is your minimum and your maximum. Your server can idle through here, so like, you're not constantly wasting 2 gigabytes of RAM. It can go, so say you set it to 1 gigabyte. It can go from 1 megabyte all the way to 2 gigabytes, depending on how the usage is being done. So say you're using like WorldEdit. Well, WorldEdit is a very high loaded RAM usage. So you basically, it will take up your 2 gigabytes if you're doing something big, and then it'll drop back down after it said makes whatever you're making. File name. This is going to be the jar that we just downloaded. How I renamed it to test. Right here, see how it's named test? You can name it like, I would suggest just leaving it to what it is, or just rename it to like Spigot, but you just type in what it is, and make sure you delete the little brackets that are on it, and this is your timeout. So this is your auto restart. From here, it just infinity loops this. And then it goes back to beginning, and it just loops and loops and loops. So this is going to be how long it takes your server after you stop it to restart. And for me, all of mine are set to 10 seconds, so they have a chance to debind from their ports so nothing gets overlapped. But I'm just going to have it set to 5, so we can preview and see what it all does. And then once you're done with that, you can just save it and exit out. And go back into here. And I closed it. Nice one. And now you can launch this. This run bat, you double click, left click. Or left click twice. And you wait for it to load the information. It'll say loading libraries, please wait. This is on a Windows machine only, mind you. For Linux, it would be different. So now you can see how it says waiting 1 second. It loads. It can't find anything because we haven't set them up yet. See, it says failed to load properties, failed to load ULA. And I'll just wait again so you can witness. See, it says in order to run server, please agree, and it says waiting 5 seconds. So that you can just exit that out, but that is the auto restart. It'll run that command every 5 seconds if it can't run the correct server. So now you're gonna want to go into your EULA, this word, and you're gonna want to set this to true. If you don't set this to true, you basically you're not agreeing with Mojang's terms. Once you set that to true, you're gonna want to save it and exit, and then go into your server properties. This is where things may get a little confusing, but we're gonna try and walk you through them. Spawn protection. This is where you spawn 16 blocks away from the block that you spawn on. You're not allowed to break. You're not allowed to mine. You can't even build in it. So I suggest setting this to 0 because it pisses me off all the time. Now there's no spawn protection. Now you don't have to worry about people said, like, it's not really griefing because you can't build in it yourself and you can't mine in it yourself. So I set that to 0 because you can use plugins that'll protect you, like WorldGuard through WorldEdit. Here's your port. This is the port that the server is going to run on. Leave that what it is. We will change that whenever we're setting up bungee cord for the servers because it's a big mess. Yeah, I'll have fun doing that. This is going to force your game mode. So like say you're in creative, you leave the server, you cut the server off, you relaunch the server, you get back on, your friends join, and you're on it, and you're like, crap, I'm still in creative. Well, you can force this to survival. So if this is set to true, it will force your game mode to whatever game mode that you're supposed to be in. So if the server is set to survival, you're in creative, you leave the server, you join back, it forces you right back into survival. Allow nether. This allows the world nether. If you want your nether portals to work, I suggest leaving this to true, because if you have this set default, they will not load. It will basically just be a portal that links you to nothing. You walk through it, you'll get the animation, but it won't teleport you to the world. Your game mode. This is where you can change your game mode to whatever you want. Spectator, creative, and survival. This is your player idle. If they're idling, say your friends are on and they're just like, oh, I'm AFK. If you set this to something, it kicks them in however many seconds that is. It might be minutes, I am not sure. This is your difficulty. If you don't want mobs to spawn, set this to peaceful. We do want mobs to spawn because we're testing it out. Or you can just set this to false. Spawn monsters. This will take away monsters, but you'll still lose hunger. Broadcast recon to ops. This is basically just whenever somebody gets opt, which we will have to if you want to use things PvP, you can disable that. Level type default world, you can set this to flat. Hardcore, you'd have to ask Alex. Max players, 20. Right here is where you can change your maximum amount of players. So whenever you log into you're looking at a server list and you see in the top right the 4 green bars here, I'll show you. Whenever you're logging into a server list, you see this right here. It shows you the amount of players that are allowed on the server. Well, this is our official server. This goes up. So like it's not just 11. You look at the server, don't look at mine. Look at this one. So basically there's a limit of 8,000 players and 4,326 are online right now. This one's set to 27 and so forth. So now I can leave this. Your network compression threshold, don't mix with that. Max world size, if you want to set it, like that's your maximum border. Your server port, this is basically, leave that alone. This we will change whenever we're doing Bungie. Your server IP, so this is computer. This IP is what your router looks for when port forwarding, which will be in a different video. This is gonna show you how to create. I'm saying this wrong. This is your routers. This is what your computer's network. Basically, this is your computer's IP designated through your router. That's how you can explain it. If you type this, if you put localhost, it connects to your computer's IP, which if you go into your task manager by left clicking on your taskbar and you go to performance and you click on your Wi-Fi, here is your computer's IPv4, which is your IP address designated through your router. This is your IP of your computer, which you really don't want to mess with that. Well, you can change it. You want to make a static IP, which we will show you on the port forwarding IP or port forwarding video. This, you want to leave this right now. This is your IP. This is, whenever you type in localhost, basically it binds to that through your computer, whatever your computer's IP is, because they're all fluent. They can change. You can change NPCs here or make them so they spawn. Allow flight. This is, you get kicked if you're in survival. Say you're using, like, I don't know, a cheat client. Right here, if you set this to true, it won't, like, it's Spigot's own anti-cheat. Like, if you're in survival and you're flying and you're not supposed to be flying, it will kick you. This is the name of your world file. Like, this is where the information for the world generated is saved. You can change this name to whatever you want. I suggest leaving it to world. Your view distance, this is the farthest view. You can designate a resource pack, spawn animals, whitelist. This is if you want. So what this is gonna do is whenever you join the server or you make it public, if somebody gets the IP of your said server, they can join if this is set to false, because there's no restrictions. If this is set to true, you can, I'll show you on a different video, but this basically will tell information and only allow your username to join. Recon password, reconnect password, just leave that. I'm not sure. Generate structures, you can turn off villages with this. Max build height, you cannot change this unless you download a plugin that can, which I haven't found one, but 256 is the highest build limit you can go, but you can set it smaller, no larger, unless you find a plugin that allows you to max this out. Online mode, we will change this when creating a bungee cord server, which is multiple of these servers linked. I'll have an in-depth detail. Level seed, you can make it spawn a certain seed. This will be this reconnect password if you want one. Here is where you see this. So, see how mine says Osborne Network Skyblock releasing this week, and this one says Mine Superior Network, and this one says Frostwire Gaming Network. This is where you're gonna want to put the information dealing with yours. So, we're just gonna do like something like this, like test server join now. You would put like the name of your server here, or whatever you want to call it, like factions or something. But in realism with bungee cord, you don't, this gets wiped because it's all in bungee. And now you can save this if you've done everything, and you can exit it out. So now you can launch your run bat again. Double tapping left click, and it will start loading files, loading libraries, so forth. And now we get to watch this generate files. So we will slowly, oh, there it goes, it's all done. Oh no, wait, yep. And here we go. Now here's all of your multipliers, which we can change now. I'll walk you through this. So the server started. So now if you want to start or stop the server, you type stop, and once you stop, yeah, I swear it stopped. Stop. And, oh, there it goes. Oh, I waited for oh no, wait, you can't stop it because it's generating. and I hate the new ones. They always do this weird infinite number, same number thing. Which I only designated 2 gigabytes of RAM, which isn't a lot. Server worker 1, server worker 3, server worker 2. Oh, these are new. Don't know what those are, but I'm guessing it's 3 different things that are being tasked through. And now we wait for this to finish. And since I typed stop, you will see that took 35,142 milliseconds. And now it's generating the nether, your nether portal, and then next it will be generating the end. We can disable that. I will show you. And now it's done. So now everything's done. It's all said and done. Once you get this, your server's completed. You will not get this over and over and over and over. The spawns have already been generated. Now they just load. But now you can type stop, and it will do this. And now you can just click X, because now you're done. So now you have all of this, and you're probably like, what the hell is all of this? What do I do? Well, I will walk you through it. So here's what would be named differently if you named it something other than world. And from here on, everything is through here. Your server properties, see the MOTD and all of this, but we don't need to mess with that right now. We can go into here and edit. So here is the information. So save user catch on stop only. So if you have this set to true, whenever the server restarts, which I will do that, I'll do a plugin listing on how to auto restart servers. This will save user catch on stop only, and basically whenever the server is stopped, it downloads all the user catch, which would take it longer. If it just does it while it's running, it's easy. This is whenever we get bungee cord, you have to turn this to true. Late bind, I don't know. Move too quickly, multiplier. Moved wrongly threshold, messages, here you go. So say you have whitelisted enabled. This is whenever they try to join and say you're not whitelisted, you will get this message. And you can set this to whatever you want. Unknown command, this is what you get whenever you type. You go to type /help and say you put like /HEP. It'll say unknown command. Please type the actual command for help, which the actual command would be /help because HEP is not spelled correctly. Server full, this is whenever your maximum amount of players is full. Outdated client, whenever you're on an older version of Minecraft versus trying to join the version of Minecraft that you're on, it won't work. Outdated server, so say like you're on the newest version but the server's like 1.12.2, this is what you'll get. And whenever your server is restarting, this is what it says. Advancements, this kind of gets annoying. I'll show you how to disable that if you're on a big server. Replace commands, tell raw summons, stats, world settings, wither spawn radius, village, desert, igloo, swamp. These are all just random things. Here are your modifiers. So these are how fast things grow. So your cactus, if you have this set, 100 is basically 1. If you have this set to like 800 and you plant a cactus, it will grow 8 times faster than what it normally would grow. Same with everything else, so you can work your way looking around there. Hunger, you can change this. So say your jump walk exhaustion, whenever you're like bunny hopping is what it would be called. Here, I'll come show you. So like jump walk would be, so you're in the server and you're right here. Whenever you're just walking, this would be jump walking, this would be jump running, this would be jumping, and you would lose exhaustion if you're on. But that wouldn't much matter. See, jump sprint, that's how fast you lose, which is pretty fast. You can always change that. If you set that to 0, whenever you're double tapping W and holding space, if you set it to 0.0, you won't have to worry about that. It just won't exist. This is your regen exhaustion. So it takes 6 hunger to regen to full health. Swim multiplier, that's how fast you lose it while you're swimming. Have no clue. Squid spawn range, that's how far they spawn away from you, 45 minutes. So if you edit any of that, you're going to save it and then click X. And now we're going to talk you through Bucket. Bucket was the beginning. Spigot is a modified thing of Bucket, which it doesn't really matter. So here's where you can allow or not allow the end. So if you want the end, leave it true. If you don't want the end, leave it false. It won't spawn the Ender Dragon if it's set this false. Or on overload. So say your server's running out of RAM. Like you don't have enough dedicated RAM, you have too many people on it, you did a big thing, it'll alert you. It'll say overload. This is your file for the permissions that you get whenever you join. Update folder, update plugin profile and connection throttle, leave that. Server, also whenever your server closes. So whenever you type stop in the command prompt or you type stop while in your server, this is the message that everybody gets whenever you get kicked. So whenever you get yeeted from the server, this is the big thing that comes up saying server has closed. These are the spawn limits of how many animals or monsters or water animals or whatever this would be. Like I don't know what animal that would be. Like a dolphin? No, that would be that. Hell, I don't know. But this can be your maximum amount of monsters. So if you set this to a lot, it's gonna take more RAM, but you'll have more of them. You'll have more of them in your spawn radius. This is per player. So per player there can be 70 monsters, 70 animals, 15 water animals, 15 avid animals. Chunk GC, this is just garbage collector every 600 minutes. This is 600 minutes. Every 600 minutes or ticks. Okay, this is kind of... Oh, okay, never mind. I was telling you a fib. Had to read. So this is gonna take basically every 600 ticks. Yeah, it's gonna look for chunks that you have loaded but you're not in, and it'll just kill them so it saves RAM. This is tick per animal, so 400 ticks, 1 tick. This is how fast they spawn. So like 400 ticks will spawn an animal, 1 tick spawn a monster. Autosave every 6,000 ticks. And Atlas now and commands.yml. So you're gonna just close out of that if you changed anything. So help me, I hope you did it correctly. So in here you have, I will show you how to disable some things once we start setting up Bungie. It'll be its own video, but in here there's gonna be something eventually. Your help YML, it just tells you everything I'm telling you. Permissions YML. This is where you would put permission nodes for people that just joined the server. These would bypass everything, so if you have PEX or UPerms, this basically will kill, it will like yeet it out the window and this will be enforced. So say you have it where they can't do it, well you have to take it out of here. So you can put like essentials.fly in here. And if you have the essentials plugin, they'll be able to fly with, whenever they type /fly, it will allow them to fly. I would say that's basically everything. Here would be your whitelist.johnson, which you can edit with Notepad++, which I will leave in description. This file is where you would put your username inside of these brackets whenever you want to be whitelisted. Because if you whitelist the server and you start it and you try and join it, it's going to be like, sorry, you're not whitelisted because you haven't typed your name in it. Here is where you would do that. User catch. This basically is all the users that I'm pretty sure ever joined your server. So yeah, now I'm going to show you how to join your server. So all you're going to do is type in run, or basically just launch to run.bat, which I feel stupid for saying that, but you wait for it to load up. Loading libraries. You can also change your command prompt. You right click on this, most people don't know this, go to properties, and you can change your layout, your colors. So like screen background, you can set this to purple, and then once you click OK, oh look, it's purple now. Crazy, right? You can make it look fancy. You can change your pop-up background, whatever color you want. I'm just gonna leave mine stock. Oh, so it was waiting for the workers. Wow. That was a big jump. 6 to 83, 89, 92, 93. Preparing start. It's very long. If you dedicate more RAM, I promise you it would be a lot quicker. But I don't want to waste RAM. So now you're gonna go here. So you're on the version that you chose homepage, which I'm on 112.2. I cannot be on this because this will not work. So now I'm gonna teach you how you can close that, move it around, set it. Never close this. This is going to be on your computer. If you click X, it just closes the command prompt and your server stops. Basically ends it. So you're going to want to launch Minecraft, your launcher. I'm going to go into your home screen. So you're here. Yours should be different than mine. Just give mine a second. It's not the fastest in the world. So you're here. If you go to latest, here's the latest snapshot. But if you're using a different snapshot, so like what my server runs, 1.12.2, you can go to installations, you can click new, and you can name it whatever you want, and you can choose the release that you want, which I have Optifine for better FPS. And yeah, that's how you do that. And then you just go to play, you click on this, and you choose what you want to run. So we have to launch 1.14.4, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to download it because I have not played on this yet, which is a shocker. So, now we wait. I wish this stuff was faster. Preparing. I should have probably been doing this before. Oh no, it has to download it. Oh my lord. And the server's running. Jesus, I'm probably gonna cut all this out. I don't know. It froze. That's a good sign. It hold up. I can fix that. If yours ever do that, just it'll say like failed or something. You can close the launcher and redo it, and it should start downloading it again, which as you can see mine is. My computer does this a lot. Hurry up, come on, it doesn't take like a fucking kid friendly. Doesn't take a while for that to work. Or it shouldn't. And it launched. And now we wait for it to load because who knows. I am sorry guys. It shouldn't, I should have had this ready. I had everything else ready. This is how you make a server on the latest version. And it's loading. Ooh, this is new. Normally it just load right in. Let's see. Mojang. This server is not, I would not recommend making a 1.14.4 server because there's ways to go around things, and 1.14.4 is not the stablest because it's new, but if you want to play with all the new animals and you want to have all the new stuff, go right ahead. I'm showing you how, and you can enjoy it with your friends once you watch my port forwarding video, or if you already know how to port forward and you just have more things. And this is a new narrator. Alright, so you're going to want to launch multiplayer, which most of these servers should ping like that one. Look, boom, support. Mine, no. See, it says Bungee Cord 1.8x, 114x, which I wonder if I can't join. Yep, that is what you will see. So this is how you're going to join your server. You're going to go to add server, server address, you can name this whatever you want, like my server. And now you're going to type in your address, local host, and then you're going to click done, and boom, here is your Minecraft server. This is right here, and you see that it has 20 people because we did not change that. And now it's going to say connecting, and now you get to watch, and it is running behind because I did not give it enough. There I am. There is me. There's XX ethylene. Loading terrain. Gotta wait for it. It's gonna be very slow. Yours will be faster if you designate more RAM. And now I'm in. Ooh, drop my mouse. Amazing. Pick that up. Alright. So 16 FPS. Also, ooh. There we go. Just drop that down. No, I'm kidding. I gotta raise that back up. When you don't have... Ooh, look at that pink. So here's your first server. Here is your Minecraft server that you can play on. And by play on, I mean basically play on if you have family over and they all like Minecraft and you all have computers and they all have accounts. They can do the exact same thing you did, and they can join the server and play with you. And in the next video, I will show you how to port forward and allow friends to join. Ethylene out.